So Mary Dumars is our next storyteller, and she is a writer. She has a column on gardening in SB Magazine. I don't know if you've read it before, but she also is, she's pretty good gardener, master gardener, in fact. And I call her, she didn't necessarily say this herself, but I call her a community garden activist. And Mary has started lots of community gardens and helps sustain them, because starting them is the easy part. Getting people to actually weed and water is a little more difficult, and she's good at that. And I asked her who in her family gives the best hug, and she said her great niece, Kinley, gives a full-on body contact sport hug, and she's all in. She's only 3 years old, but Kinley is the best hugger in her family. And welcome, Mary. And if she stands up, she's going to come tell a story, unless she's changed her mind, which that's not allowed.
Because I'll probably trip over it. You know me well.
Here, I'll do that.
I'm good. See, I would have sat, but you threw it out there. Well, hi, I'm Mary. Hi, I'm Mary. I dressed for you guys today. Okay, see, got the boots, got the hat, got the whole thing, because Shreveport's really part of Texas. Don't tell anybody. I grew up here, born and raised Shreveport, and when I was growing up, I hated country music. Hated it. When I was an adult, didn't understand it. Who listens to this? Well, I'm 43, and I listen to it. I dance like it. It's crazy. But when I was a teenager, I was really, really crazy about French culture, French music, French classical music. I loved anything that had to do with French culture. I kind of blame it on my name a little bit. You know, it's Dumars, and sometimes I'll play with people and say, no, it's Dumars. That's my name. You know, so French culture it drew me in. This is Louisiana, you know, the French Purchase, and you know, the Louisiana Purchase, just everything about Louisiana was like, oh, Mary, it's so French. You know, so what I do, I take French class. You know, what else do you do? Everybody's taking Spanish, but no, they don't know the truth. Forgive them. So I'm taking French class, and you know, I'm immersing myself. I'm reading French novels and trying to learn the language. And I ended up becoming friends with my French teacher, who wasn't really French. She was actually German, but she lived in Berlin, and they spoke French there, so she qualified. So she just noticed, you know, that I really liked French stuff. You know, here's this kid who's likes French, whatever. She's doing good in class, let's not mess it up. You know, so she befriends me, and it just so happens that she was married to a violinist. Not just any violinist, but like the second chair of the Symphony violinist. She was cool, but that was cool. That was really cool. So she invites me one day to go to, actually it was a rehearsal. Her husband was second chair of the Symphony, and he was going to be practicing, and they get to go and listen to that, because when they're practicing, they're actually just as good as they are when they're performing for real. I mean, you practice so well, it's incredible. So she asked me if I wanted to go practice, and boom, all these things go into my head. Oh my gosh, I'm going to the symphony. I'm not going to the symphony. Are you crazy? You're black. Black people don't go to the symphony. Have you seen any black people out there going to the symphony? No. Okay. It's a symphony. It's music. Everybody loves music. Not a problem. Okay, boom. What am I going to wear? Do you see what they wear to the symphony? You don't have that. Where's your fur? Where is it? I don't have a fur. Well, we have a fur, but he's outside eating Purina chow, you know. So I can't even, like, answer her. I'm like, well, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. You know, so actually it was more like, let me think about it and I'll get back to you, because I was, you know, kind of shy, right? And so I think about it and I'm like, you know, secretly nobody knows that, you know, I've just spent since I'd say middle school up to high school in this little cave that I created in my house. We had a door. And then there was a door for the bathroom. And then there was another door. But we didn't have doors on our rooms. It was just kind of a free flow, you know, space. You know, yeah, that's my brother's bedroom, but for right now, this is my, like, this is where I'm gonna listen to the Boston Pops. Every single week, I know exactly what time it comes on. I've got all my chores taken care of. You feeling good? You're feeling good? Nobody's sick? Okay, good. And I disappear, and I put my earphones on, have my little radio, you know, your little transistor, you know. I'm sitting there with my little radio, and I didn't like sitting on furniture. Weird thing. I like to kind of scrouch down on the ground next to the furniture and lean. You know, I don't know, something, maybe a little Turkish thing going there. But, you know, you just kind of get next to the sofa and you kind of lean. It's very comfortable, you know. So that's what I would do. So got my chores done. Boston Pops, it's almost time. Oh my gosh, don't talk to me. I don't even want you to see me because I don't want to do anything. Put my earphones on. I go into my brother's room. And my brother's room, it's off of the kitchen, it's off of everything, but it's off of the kitchen, and it's usually, if no one's in there, you turn off the light. So the kitchen light's always on because we're always in there. Yeah. But the light shines in such a way that it comes through his room and illuminates all of that. But there's this nice, cool little spot where there's this dresser and a sofa. And, I mean, the sofa's kind of too big for the room and the bed, you know, like a sofa and a bed, you're pushing it. You know, so we had the sofa kind of pushed to the wall, and then the dresser was pushed to the sofa, and the bed was pushed to the sofa too. So where the light didn't shine was this nice shadowy corner between the dresser and the sofa. And that's where I would hunker down. I'd put my earphones on, I'd turn on the radio at just the right time, and they would announce the Boston Pops. And I would be in heaven. Now, what does it have to do with French music? Nothing. Actually, the story should be called Blame It on the Russians, because one of the shows on the Boston Pops was a special evening, and I'm ready, chores done, hunkered down, no light, earphones, Baryshnikov. To use some of the young kids' words, OMG. It's Baryshnikov. So I'm like, suddenly, you know, he's dancing the Nutcracker. I didn't even know there was a Nutcracker. You know, it's just, everything's wonderful. The world has cracked open, and I didn't fall in, but it's really, really cool. So I decide from there, I'll go to the symphony. Why not? You know, this is my father's land. I can go wherever I want, you know. So then I open my closet, and Remember I mentioned the fur outside, eating the perina? If he was lucky, well, really it was Old Roy, but we pretended. We called it perina. So, furs out there, not really ready for the symphony or anything. In my closet, and I don't know if any of you remember when your closet was also your pantry. So, you had your school clothes, your dress, your church clothes, and your ketchup, and, and bring me an extra thing of mayo. You had those canned goods, everything right there in your closet. You could live there for years, So I'm looking at my clothes, and I'm like, okay, I've made this decision. I'm going to the symphony. I've got to wear something nice. Now, church nice is still different from symphony nice. Church nice, you can kind of sit in the back row and nobody really notices. Unless you come late, then everybody notices. So still wasn't quite sure. So and I don't know. Do I look like I have a dress? So I'm looking in my closet and I'm trying to choose between these 3 skirts. Yes, because I had 3. And I actually counted 3 right this time, not 3. I had 3 skirts, and I decided on the one that looked the most sensible. And it was this steel gray woolen skirt. Solid, no plaids, no nothing, just simple. Mind you, it is not winter. It's not winter at all, but I'm gonna wear this wool skirt. And I choose this kind of peasant-looking lacy, not too much lace, mind you, but just a few accents of lace. But it looks like a peasant shirt to me. And that was my attire for the symphony. So, the great day comes, I've been to school, thank you, A+, I'll study harder, see you later for the symphony. And she pulls up, and I don't remember anything else. I don't remember the car, I barely remember speaking to her. All I remember is I'm moving towards the symphony. And when I get there, to the Strand, my brother used to go to the Strand and watch kung fu movies, so I'm like really excited because I'm using it for its real purpose. But it's beautiful. I've dreamed of going to it. I mean, it looks like everything you see in Hollywood, the big marquee, the lights. I walk in and it's like, angels are singing, which has only happened one other time, and that was when I was eating at Macaroni Grill. We won't talk about that. They looked like angels. They were beautiful, and anyway. But I walk in, and I mean, it's just absolutely wow. I'm in the Strand Theater, and I'm at the Symphony. I'm like the luckiest person in the world. We get seated, and she probably had to drag me to the seat because I'm probably still going, and everybody's like, get out the way. So we sit down, and we had like really good seats. We were like up front, because she's the wife. And I enjoyed the evening. Don't remember what they played. I think it was French Baroque music, which meant it was like really, really old French music, like really old people French music. But I liked it. And that experience really, it changed me because the angst that you hear that teenagers go through, I don't know what they're talking about. I had no angst. There was no angst. But that was angst because I knew I would probably be underdressed because the 3 skirts I had were the only 3 skirts that I had. And this woolen skirt certainly would not stand up to the beautiful gowns that people wore. And there would be no bling. There was no jewelry to drape myself in. And my hair wasn't perfectly coiffed, you know. When you see my hair, this is why my hair looks like this. There was no coiffing. But the biggest thing I had to face was, in all these things, these are just things that you deal with on a daily basis. But I knew that when I went in there, I'd probably be the only one other person, the only black person, you know, and you can't just say, don't say black anymore. That's how the kids are now. We don't call them black. We don't call them white. Well, what do you call them? We call them by their name. Well, they're still black. They're still white to me, you know. That's how you describe them. You know, so I knew I would be probably the only black person there. And when we walked in and the angels sang, and I just, you know, once I went gaga over the Strand and walked and got to my seat, then, you know, I came back to reality, and I looked around, and there weren't. I was the only one. And I said, well, that's how it is. If I'm going to enjoy what I like, then I have to accept that I may be the only one. And I have to accept that I still deserve it. I like it, it's there, and I should be able to partake because I deserve it as a human. You know, so that was my first experience with the symphony. I still love Russian music. I still love French music. Russian music, you know, they just kind of, French music likes to play with you a little bit and kind of, you know, build up this crescendo, but then they ease back and apologize for making you too excited, you know. But they keep playing with you like that. Russian music, they're like, oh, baby, come on. That's Russian music. It is in your face. We're building the crescendo, strap in, here we go. That's your Russian music. So now it's French, Russian, and country.